Hello, this is Tim Law with Plain It Forward Coaching and Self-Reliance U. Always remember your life, your dreams, your goals, and your career are all essential. A big thank you to over 400 people that have subscribed to this channel, Plain It Forward Coaching. Very, very much appreciate it. If you haven't already, please do so. Always remember, too, that whatever your mind can conceive and believe, you can achieve. I am absolutely delighted to be introducing a gentleman that I'm just literally just getting to meet recently here, Mitchell Earl, who is the co-owner and the COO of Praxis. And I'm going to let him discuss it just here a little bit as far as it's a very, very unique program. I saw this a week or two ago on one of the news stations. And so, Mitchell, take it away, please. Tell us about this incredible program called Praxis.
Yeah, thanks, Tim. Thanks for inviting me on, and thanks for the work you're doing. I always love meeting people who come across what we're doing and it resonates with them. To give it a short, Praxis is an apprenticeship program. It is a 12-month-long program for hardworking, ambitious young adults who are looking for something different than the traditional college experience. In our program, young adults, young professionals, usually age ranges from 17 to late 20s. Sometimes coming right out of high school, sometimes dropping out of college, sometimes out of college and still just not sure what they're, what they want to do or what they're good at. Come to us. We help them build some skills, foundational professional skills, help them gain a better understanding for how business works, and ultimately try to help them discover one or two starting points for their career that excite them, help them build the skills they need around that area of interest, and then actually help them go land their first professional opportunity. For their first 6 months in that new job we help them land. Our team continues to offer them coaching, resources, support. Ultimately, by the end of 12 months, we want that individual who comes to our program to feel like they have a strong momentum built up into the next chapter of their life. And from there, our team is just there to cheerlead them on. And if they ever need, continued resources, career help down the road, our community and alumni network and our hiring network are there to support them. But ultimately, we want them to be leading self-directed lives and careers. And a lot of that is, our goal is to help them build the mindset and the tools to do that.
Well, awesome. I just, as I said, I have been kind of over back and forth as far as your website is concerned. They frequently asked questions and really took a very, very deep dive in it. And looking at, and I think I told you just before we got on here about listening to Seth and Lauren discussing Seth's the father, Lauren's the daughter, her wonderful journey and everything like that toward this kind of self-discovery and what Praxis has been able to do for her. And obviously you've got a lot of these different testimonials on your on your sites and everything, actual videos. And so the type of people you're looking for, you said self-directed. What else, Mitchell, are kind of a priority for you?
Yeah, I think there's some characteristics that I would use to describe the types of people who are going to succeed in our program. And it's fundamentally different than the person who is best suited for college. And again, it could be the same person, but it's not somebody who is looking for a syllabus with very clear instructions about, hey, here's exactly step-by-step what you're going to do. And people who like that traditional environment. And I was very much one of these people, even though I was a great student, is like, I like to be on my feet. I don't like to sit still in class. But the reason behind that is like there's some kind of intellectual curiosity. There was some type of ambition. There was some type of like restlessness that you wanted to be able to channel into something more productive. And so when I think of like the life experiences that a lot of our more successful alumni have, they typically have some kind of work experience in high school, or they started some type of entrepreneurial thing. Even if it was like a small thing, they were doing something that they were excited about. And they're fascinated by ideas. And this could come in many different shapes and forms. Some people are, they're bookworms, or they're listening to podcasts. Other people are just, there's one thing they're really excited about, and they go and learn everything they can about that. And it could be sports as well as their thing, but there's some mark of discipline and a track record of work ethic and going above and beyond. They're just kind of like getting by in life. And so when we meet young adults who that's kind of what they're all about, and they're interested in our program, and we're so excited to work with them and help them make, build some strong momentum in the next chapter of their life.
Sure, sure. And to go along with that, one of the things that I've always tried to emphasize is that, in this country, if a person will have a work ethic, develop some people skills, go the extra mile, be a team player, there really is no limit as far as what they can actually, accomplish. And it certainly sounds like Praxis is hitting a lot of those bars.
Yep. Yep. I like to think so. And I think that, part of what we're doing, which unfortunately can sometimes come off as like, it's a controversial thing to say you don't need to go to college. But I think a lot of it comes down to like helping people avoid landmines that the traditional kind of approach to life and education and career, a lot of young adults are being set up to fail. And one of the most notorious, I'd say one of the most notorious ways they do that is opting into college, just defaulting, hey, I'm going to go to college because that's what everyone must do. And then taking on a ton of student debt, not having a lot of certainty of the outcome they want to get out of that. And so there's this sense of like waywardness or lack of direction paired with, now I have a bad financial outcome coming out of college, and it's dependent on me to go get the highest paying job I can to pay back this debt. And so coming out of college, where I think a lot of young adults and their parents and their family and friends think that is going to be the golden ticket to upward mobility and the better life and give them more options. Unfortunately, a lot of people are coming out and their options are limited. They have to go take whatever job they can get, and they're kind of backed into a corner. And I think that has a lot of insidious impacts when you think about that person's life and career going forward. And then, all the different decisions that they have to make kind of under that guise of like, I've got this debt that I've got to worry about before I can do anything else.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, not only that, but as far as your program is concerned and everything, it's a case of a lot of them being able to actually go out and hit the workforce, that much sooner, because your program goes for it's a 6-month boot camp and initially, to learn some of the different skills, and then another 6 months after that. Basically, yours is a 1-year program, correct?
Yep. In one year. And most of our apprentices, they're starting full-time jobs around the 7th month of the program. So they're coming out with 6 months of paid work experience in the real world. And whether they decide to keep those jobs at the end of the program, or they decide to go on and do something else, or change jobs, or go back to school, or whatever it is, like I personally want them to feel like they have more context and clarity about what they're after, as opposed to just being like, hey, I'm stuck in college for 4 years. And, like, even if I want to do something else, I just got to mark time for the next 4 years. I want them to, feel like they are in the driver's seat instead of taking a much more passive approach to their lives and careers.
Yeah. Yeah. And another thing that you and I shared off camera just beforehand was my daughter graduated in 97 out of high school, my son in 03 out of high school. And just in that short period of time, I saw the difference between the coming out of college with a questionable degree, developing huge debt, and then that, like you said, that challenge of trying to pay that off. I mean, that is, you talk about some pressure on a relatively young person, trying to navigate that. Like you say, they painted themselves into a corner, and I think the degrees that, if you do go on to college, and there's nothing wrong with it at all if you can get a marketable degree. But again, it's not necessarily for everybody, especially that level of debt.
Yeah. And I'll speak to maybe your listeners out there who do think college is the right path. And what I'd say is there's nothing wrong with it, but there's better ways to do it than others. And what I would say is, like, be very clear about the outcome that you want, and don't just let your experience stop at the classroom. Go and take full advantage of all the resources that you're paying for, and you're going to be paying for a long time if you're in debt anyway. Like, go get mentorship from professors, lean on your advisors and that network to go get actual valuable internships at companies that can turn into job prospects afterwards. Don't be the student that doesn't take advantage of any of those and comes out feeling powerless, unemployed, and in debt. But be very deliberate about, hey, where do I want to be as a result of this on the other side? And in that case, you are going to be set up better than, than the average person who's just walking out with debt. But, also don't feel like that's your only option. There are so many other cool things in addition to what we're doing than feeling like that's your only choice.
Sure, sure. Well, there's a lot of good advantages as far as college is concerned. Probably one of the biggest distinctions a person has to make is, okay, am I dealing with a professor that is totally in the theoretical? He's got no concept as far as the real world is concerned, because they get tenured, they're in there, and it's a case where there isn't necessarily a lot of understanding as far as the real world is concerned.
Yep. Yep. I ran into that a lot in my own college experience. I like to tell people a story. I was, I originally went to college, going to medical school, and got involved with a very early stage media company startup my sophomore year, and ended up kind of transitioning into more of like business and journalism, because this is a business I was involved in day to day. And I spent a lot of my time involved with this business very early on. I went from a handful of people to several thousand people over the 3 years that I worked with this company. And I was having kind of an ongoing kind of like dilemma with what I was learning in the classroom when I actually attended classes. But it was kind of this beef between like the professor saying, hey, here's how it is. Here's things that are relevant 10 years ago. And you're out here like, I'm actually participating in building a company that's, talking about a lot of the ideals or things I'm supposed to be learning in class. And it's just so much different the way that it works in the real world and the way that it works in the classroom. And for me, that was kind of a turning point in my education, because it was a sense of frustration where it's like, I would rather spend my time working on this business than being in the classroom doing things that I feel like are just busy work. And I'll stop that there and just suffice it to say that, like, don't limit your experience to the classroom if you do choose to go to college. Like, take charge of your own education and realize that, this is for you. It's not for somebody else. Like, go explore the ideas that interest you. And it's on you to take that seriously and, use the ideas and things you're learning to make your life better.
Sure. No, I couldn't agree more, Mitchell. This has been fantastic. Any last parting thoughts here? And please hang around after I pause the recording too. Last parting thoughts that you would like to share or include here?
Yeah. So I thank so much for reaching out and setting this up. And what I will say, just as kind of thanks for you, because I know the type of content you're putting out there and the type of people that are responding to that, like, those are the types of young adults that we want to get in touch with. And so if you are listening to this, you are interested in learning more about Praxis, and you're a young adult who may be interested in our program, go visit discoverpraxis.com/playing it forward. There's a special offer there. We will collect your contact information so we can send you more information about the program, set up a call with me, and we will also automatically apply a $1,000 tuition scholarship against tuition should you choose to go on and apply to the program. But we'd love to get to know you, and thanks again, Tim, for setting this up, and look forward to the future.
Sounds good. Well, thank you so much, Mitchell. Do appreciate it. And
Yeah.
just hang on here for a minute, okay?
All right.